write music for myself, I give it away for free. So don't bother trying to get royalties if I sample your shit now and again. Any royalties there are, you already
Day 3. It's 10 to 9 in the morning and Friday, my traditional day off. But I ain't got no kids to look after today. What? So what I intend to do today, because I've got a full day at home, except when I have to go out for an hour or so in the afternoon, is to do some vocals, because weekdays are good days when all the neighbours are out and stuff. So it's a good chance to get on the mic and do some shouting and screaming. So I'm just setting that up now, because I've got a song I'm working on which currently is called Newest Psy International. That might be a better title. Instrumental, because it hasn't got a proper title yet. It's not intended to have vocals on it really, but when I started recording it, it started out as like a funk type song, you know, like a funk groove, because I started it with the bass and drums, and then when I put the first guitar on it was all spiky, so it became like a punk funk thing, and then when I put the second guitar on it became more of a rock song. But in the earlier stages, when it was still sounding like it was going to be a funk thing, I had the idea of putting some James Brown type vocal on it, so not a real vocal, just, I don't know, maybe some grunts and maybe some choice phrases, though I'm going to have to go through my lyrics shortly because I don't tend to write. You know, like James Brown has stuff where he goes, turn me loose and get on it, and you know, just little sort of things that he shouts out. I don't write stuff like that, but I'm hoping over the past 15 years of lyrics I've maybe written some stuff that I can lift and say. But prior to that, I had an idea to put a vocal sample on it. Like a news blooper video of an old man complaining about some kind of marathon or something, and he's going, "You won't be strutting that ass, strutting that ass, strutting that ass." So I thought I could sample that and maybe put it in the song rhythmically. Hopefully I'll decide where to put it exactly during that process, and then, you know, that'll give me something to work with on the vocal. So it might be like doing a call and response thing with the sample, or it might be copying it, or it just might inform something. So I'm going to do that first. Meanwhile, I've been warming my voice up a little bit so it doesn't break when I'm doing this stuff. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the OBS software and just film me sort of putting that sample together into the song. It started off that there was a definite bit I wanted, but when I listened to it, there's 2 or 3 bits in it that I want. So I'm just gonna. So now I can start chopping it up and stuff without ruining it. So let's have a listen.
It ain't far, boy. It's just 38 miles. Why don't you walk?
You won't notice, but I've actually applied some noise reduction to this already because the traffic noise was really loud. So I definitely want, I think it's up to here, where he goes, "Well, all right, let's go."
Why don't you just walk, Billy? All right, I want to. All right, let's go. Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that.
Oh, he's a bit angry there, isn't he? Yeah, definitely want that bit. So, shall we just listen to the whole thing as it is?
Why don't you just walk, Billy? All right, I want to. All right, let's go. How about strutting that ass? Strut that ass, 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 strutting that ass. Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. You won't be strutting that ass, strutting that ass.
Right. I wonder if I can label all these.
You won't be strutting that ass, strutting that ass.
Ooh. Now I need to find where I want to put this in the song. God, I don't know where to put it though. I think I need to put a strutting that ass quite early on. Let's have a look. So I think probably it's a good thing that I recorded a number of strutting that asses instead of assuming that I could just use one of them. Let's see. It sounds like beef art. Right, I want to just paste it a little bit earlier. Oh, I'm liking this already. That's brilliant. Struttin Dat Ass. I don't know, because I started with 2 strutting that asses and then a ooh, and then just 1. So let's just see how it sounds.
Alright, let's go.
What about a while? Alright, let's go. Strut that ass. Alright, let's go. What about there? Now, I might leave that bit, the next bit I think of as the chorus. And I might leave that for singing, maybe. So let's have a listen to the whole thing. A little bit out of time, those bits, but I don't think it matters. Anyway, right, you get the idea there. I don't need to film this whole thing, I don't think. I'm going to do some more experimenting, trying to figure out if I want to put more samples in and where I want to put them. So I'll leave that there for now. Alright, back again. I've done a few jobs this morning that I forgot to film myself doing, but you know, you'll get over it. There wasn't much to see. Just to let you know what I've done, I suppose. I did the new samples, which will form part of this video. I added the sample. I added vocals, which I could have filmed, to the song Newest Sigh, which I put the sample on, but it's just a scratch vocal. I'll probably film later doing it properly. And I've downloaded some songs by Jim Gibson-Cranch that I'm going to put vocals on, and that's what I'm doing now. I've just had a go. This song's called Cosmic Horizon currently, and I've been looking through my file to find lyrics to go with it, and I've got some and I'm just trying them out. I remember that feeling of being lost alone in my own head, the horror of asking, am I knowing insanity? So that gives you a rough idea. I quite liked, I mean, you can't hear the music, but when I sang that last, and This Is What Death Is Like, that's where the track started to decay and end. So I'm gonna, the difficult bit about doing this is Jim's songs structures can be quite hard to discern, because he doesn't do often songs with vocals, and a lot of them are full of lead guitar. So it's a matter of determining where I can put a verse vocal, where I can put a chorus vocal, and in this song there's not really much to delineate it. So I'm gonna just have a few goes through, and then I'll probably listen and like try to piece together bits that have worked so that I can then practice it and improve on it. Right, this is another Jim Gibson-Cranch song that I'm working on. I found something straight away that I liked on this one. It's gone a bit, the verse is a bit Metallica and the chorus is a bit System of a Down. I've got 2.5 verses, so I'm gonna have to write some extra for the third verse. That should be enough. I might have got something spirited away somewhere that I can use, so Let's just have a little go at that.
Come on now, you're paid to work, not to shirk and not to chat. You sellers, your time I want it back. You're full of shit, I want it back. There has to be a...
Oh. Huh. I must have done 2 verses straight in a row. Alright, let's just undo that.
There has to be a better way. 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 There has to be a better way.
Right, I've moved on to the 3rd Jim Gibson-Cranch song now. This is one that he's called Life for Living, and it's odd actually because there's only really the first minute and a quarter of it that you can sing over, and so I've managed to find a very small amount of lyrics, literally that, and then I've added this line that seems to fit. The idea with this one was that I'd sung on one of his songs before, and he was like, you know, yeah, feel free to do some more. But when his new stuff came out, it all had like lead guitar on it, and I thought it wasn't possible. But then I thought, well, what if I sang, like, if I doubled the lead guitar the way that like David Gilmour does on, I don't know if it's on Wish You Were Here or Shine On You Crazy Diamond or something like that. So this song sounded like one that might be able to do that. Now I'm not doing it note for note. I'm following the melody, but there's guitar embellishments that I'm not following, but maybe I will in future. It's quite difficult for me as not being a very good singer, and switching from, there's like a high bit at the beginning, and switching from that to the more restrained, what I would call verse, is quite difficult, so it's going to sound a bit odd, but you know, I'll get better at it, and ultimately I should be able to edit together a take that works. But first I'm going to listen to it loads of times and make sure that I'm happy with how I'm doing it and that there's no better ways to do it. But this is a run through. Do you remember when the future was exciting? You started your life as a spelling mistake, and things never got much better. Do you remember when you used to be exciting? And that's it. So you can hear there's like an almost operatic first bit, which is very out of character for me. Then there's a more alternative rock sort of verse bit, and then there's a bit where you can't hear the track obviously, but it comes down to play sort of the big melody but quite restrained, so I bring that down again. So it's like, it's 3 registers that I'm having to do, and I might have to actually do it bit by bit in order to get my voice ready to sing each part, rather than trying to go from one to the next, because I'm not really a good enough singer to do that without loads and loads of practice. I've spent the last, what did I do? I did some vocals to the Jim Gibson-Cranch songs. I don't know if I've talked about those yet, but I managed to find lyrics and find melodies and record vocals for all 3 of the songs that I'd picked of his to work on. I picked 3 just because I figured one of them might turn out alright, but all 3 are going really well. I've shown you little bits of that. And then I had some dinner, and then I listened to everything that I did yesterday, just so that I could hear it with fresh ears, as they say, and sort of get ideas for what to do with them next. One of the songs, Leather Bear, I have had an idea to keep it acoustic, but to also put like a phase or chorus or flange effect on the vocal, because the abstract nature of the lyrics makes me think of some of the psychedelic Beatles stuff, and it might sound nice with a vocal effect on it. Anyway, now it's time to play guitar for a bit. So I'm going to start. I wrote a song for my mate Pitts' wedding. It's I've kind of borrowed the tune of Johnny Cash's A Boy Named Sue, and it's called A Boy Named Pitts. There's loads of lyrics in it. The original idea was to actually perform it as part of my best man speech, but I'm getting second thoughts about that now, and I almost gave it up completely, or maybe thought of doing a spoken word thing, like just doing it as John Cooper Clarke or something. But then I had an idea that, well, maybe I could do it as a video. Either way, always in my plans was to practice it a bit and just see, because you know, I've not played it for a little bit, and I might play it and go, actually that is a really good idea, and I do feel confident enough that I can learn all the lyrics and I can do it. I don't want to be a knob or anything, you know, that knob who plays a song at his mate's wedding. I have mentioned it to John and Marie already and they were fine with the idea, but you're not going to say no, are you? Are you? I don't know. So as I say, this is a boy named Pitts. I haven't learnt it all yet, so if this does carry on, I'll have to stoop down and turn the page a couple of times, but it goes something like well, I met John when I was 18. His hair was long and his skin was green, but we immediately bonded over the riffs of Alice in Chains. He shredded hard on a BC Rich and had a shit acoustic with a neck this thick. We shook the walls till the neighbours all complained. He taught me to smoke and we joked and drank, but the best fun that we ever had, that I can tell you about, was playing music as Mary Wanna Smile on stage. But before all that we had some laughs at uni up in Geordieland with Nick and Chris and Joe and Quiet Paul. Long-haired John soon dyed his hair, pink it was and the same down there, and all over the bathroom of Sanderson Hall. We used to watch Home and Away as well as Neighbours twice a day, then play GoldenEye on the N64. John was the one with the messy room and he'd confuse girls when he brought them home by having posters of hairy metal guys on his walls. John was always a surfer dude, he always had that attitude before he'd ever surfed a single time. He dressed that way, he spoke that way, like one day when he needed the time of the train, he called the train line. That's what you had to do back then. Yeah. Can you tell me when there are like trains? Yeah, that's what he said. Now all the time I lived with John, I never saw him feeling down. Not like me, I was moody all the time. You might say that's understandable, his face is so damn punchable. He used to annoy me in so many ways. Like one time we were going for a drink, he went to get changed and came back in the very same night hoodie I already had on. But whatever I did, he never seemed to mind, except perhaps there was that one time when I scratched his car with a funny Cheech and Chong phrase. Hey, pendejo, how's it doing? Pendejo means like my very good friend. Well, we wrote the songs we want to hear and played gigs almost everywhere.
Alright, you join me late on now on day 3, and having made some progress with the song Leather Bear in terms of the arrangement, I'm going to start putting some drums to it, and if this all goes well, the whole song could be finished by the end of the weekend. It's Friday today, because I thought I'd just keep it entirely acoustic, so I only have to keep the drums as basic as possible, basically just to allow me to keep the tempo while I record the acoustic guitar. So here's Audacity. I've already set the tempo, and it's come out at 82. I've set it based on like one of the original recordings on my phone. I just tapped along to it. I've got my drum kit. I always use a Kit Core Session Dry. One day I'd like to get around to having a go at editing this drum kit, but it always seems to take. I just think it's going to take longer than I want to spend on it. So I always start with a kick on the first beat. I'll just put one there to see how it goes. I'll put one on every first beat or every second beat just to see how it goes. I think that will work. I need to put something else so that I don't lose my place, I think. Maybe just a hi-hat. Playing through now to make sure that it goes with the song. I'm finished. I think that's the end of the video. I mean, I could go straight on and start recording the acoustic guitar. It's only 8:30. I might just think about that for a while.